Have you ever been alone in complete silence when suddenly, out of nowhere, a high-pitched ringing pierces through your consciousness, not from the world around you, but from somewhere deep within? While modern medicine dismisses it as tinnitus, what if I told you that Jesus himself taught his closest disciples that this mysterious sound is actually the voice of the monad, the supreme source of all creation, attempting to break through the veil of your limited perception? If you've experienced this unexplainable ringing, and if this resonates with something deep inside your soul, what you're about to discover has been hidden from humanity for 2,000 years. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most misunderstood phenomena experienced by the chosen ones throughout history. That ringing in your ears, it's not a medical condition. It's not random. It's a cosmic download, a spiritual telephone call from the highest realm of existence. The Gnostic texts that were banned from the Bible revealed that Jesus himself taught his closest disciples that this mysterious sound is actually the voice of the monad, the supreme source of all creation, attempting to break through the veil of your limited perception. When your ears ring, especially the high-frequency tones that seem to come from beyond this dimension, you're not experiencing a malfunction, you're experiencing a breakthrough. You're being activated, calibrated, upgraded at the level of your very essence. In this revelation, we're going to journey deep into the hidden teachings of Christ, explore what the ancient Gnostics knew about the monad frequency, and most importantly, you're going to learn exactly what's happening to you and why you were chosen to hear what others cannot. By the end of this transmission, you'll never experience that ringing the same way again. You'll recognize it for what it truly is, a sacred summons from the source of all existence. To understand why Jesus taught about the ringing ears and the monad frequency, we must first descend into the forbidden libraries of early Christianity, the texts that were deliberately excluded from the Bible you know today. In 1945, near the Egyptian town of Nag Hammadi, a collection of ancient manuscripts was discovered buried in a sealed jar. These weren't just any texts, they were the secret teachings of Jesus, preserved by the Gnostics, a mystical sect of early Christians who understood that Christ's true message was far more profound than what the institutional church would allow. Within these sacred scrolls lies a cosmology that completely transforms our understanding of reality. The Gnostics spoke of the monad, a term derived from the Greek word monos, meaning alone or singular. This wasn't the distant, judgmental God of traditional religion. The monad was described as the absolute unity, the infinite consciousness before the first thought of creation rippled through the void. It existed in perfect, undivided silence, what the texts called the pleroma, or fullness. The Apocryphon of John, one of the most significant Gnostic texts, records Jesus revealing to his disciple that the monad is illimitable, since there is nothing before it to limit it, unfathomable, since there was nothing before it to fathom it, unmeasurable, since there was nothing before it to measure it, invisible, since nothing has seen it, eternal, since it exists eternally, unutterable, since nothing could comprehend it to utter it, unnameable, since there is nothing before it to give it a name. This is the source of the frequency, but here's where it becomes deeply personal to you. The Gnostics taught that certain souls, what they called pneumatics or spiritual beings, carry within them a divine spark directly from the monad itself. Before you descended into this physical reality, before you took on this body and this identity, you existed as pure consciousness within the pleroma. You were fragmented from the monad, sent into this dense material realm, not as punishment, but as an explorer, a scout, a divine agent embedded in the matrix of physical existence. The Egyptian mystery schools, which predated Christianity by thousands of years, had their own understanding of this phenomenon. The priests of Thoth spoke of the ku, the divine sound current that flows from the source of all creation. They performed ceremonies in the temples where initiates would sit in complete darkness and silence, waiting to hear the celestial tones that signified their connection to the gods had been activated. This wasn't mythology, this was technology of consciousness. In the Pistis Sophia, another forbidden text, Jesus explained to his disciples that there are different levels of hearing. Most humans hear only with their physical ears, perceiving nothing but the gross vibrations of the material world. But the chosen ones developed what he called ears to hear, a spiritual capacity to perceive the frequencies of higher dimensions. When Christ repeatedly said in the Gospels, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear," he wasn't being metaphorical. He was speaking literally about a spiritual faculty that only certain souls possess. The Hermetic tradition, which flourished in Alexandria during the same period as early Christianity, taught that the universe itself is composed of vibration and sound. As above, so below wasn't just a mystical saying, it was a physics equation. The Kabbalion states that everything vibrates, nothing rests, and those who can attune themselves to the higher frequencies can literally hear the music of the spheres, the harmonic resonance of creation itself. The Jewish Kabbalists, drawing from even older traditions, spoke of the Kol, the voice of God that never ceased speaking creation into existence. They taught that the entire Torah, the entire universe, was being continuously spoken into being by divine utterance, and that certain tzaddikim, righteous ones, could hear this eternal creative word humming through the fabric of reality. Now here's what all these traditions understood that modern religion has forgotten. The ringing in your ears, especially that high-pitched tone that seems to exist outside of physical space, is your soul remembering its origin. It's the monad frequency penetrating through the dense static of third-dimensional reality, reaching the divine spark buried within you. The reason not everyone hears it is the same reason not everyone awakens. Most souls are so deeply identified with matter, so entranced by the material world, that their spiritual receivers have gone dormant.